Hello and welcome to Purple Pie Studios. In this video, I want to break down the entire process of this motion design project on Christmas. Like any other artworks, an animation project starts with ideas. So at the very initial stage of a project, I start with brainstorming. So first I note down the words that are related to the animation. So the project was on Christmas and the words that come in mind are Santa Claus, Christmas tree, lighting effect, gifts, snowfall, envelope, or text wishes. So these were some of the words that I have noted down, and after that the next step is to use some of these objects to come up with a story. Now after that I started doing some rough sketches to get some animation idea. These are the thumbnail drawings that I have created for this project. So once I got the overall idea about the animation, I then jumped into Adobe Illustrator to get started with the final illustration. So in Adobe Illustrator, I first needed to design an envelope. In the next frame, I needed to design a Christmas tree with gifts, and there is a text, "Get your jingle on." And in the next frame, there is a Santa Claus running with gift, and there is a text of "Merry Christmas wish." So these were the illustrations that I created in the illustration stage. Now after that, I went on with storyboarding. So here I have illustrated each of the individual frames of the animation before doing the actual animation in After Effects, so that I have a complete idea about the animation and how the frames are going to look like before proceeding with the After Effects animation and implementing it in After Effects. So this is my final storyboard. Now let's jump into After Effects and let's check out some of the important animation techniques that I have used throughout this project. In After Effects, the first thing we are going to learn is how to animate a transition like this. So here I have used a very common transition called match cuts. In match cuts, you use the motion of one object from the previous frame and continue that motion in the next frame to get a smooth transition like this. To keep things simple, we are going to use simple geometric shapes to learn the techniques for the transition. So here we have two shapes, one square and one triangle. Let's start with the square. So we're going to separate the dimension and put a keyframe on the x-axis. After that, we're going to jump onto around 22 frames or 25 frames. Let's move it over here. Again, let's jump on to next 25 frame and we're going to copy and paste the initial keyframe. So we're going to select the keyframes and erase it. Let's add a rotation as well. At this point, we're going to rotate it by 90 degrees. And here we're going to copy and paste the initial values. Let's erase the keyframes. Now we're going to check the animation first. So here you can see that the animation is looking decent, but the thing is that there isn't any hard edge over here. We want some hard edge in this animation. So let's get inside the graph editor and we're going to increase the edge. So we're going to stretch these Bezier handles. Now after that, to get the same graph for the rotation, we can use a plugin called Ease Copy. Select the keyframes, copy, and then select this set of keyframes and paste the ease. Now after that, what I want is that at this point, the square should not exactly completely stop. Also at this point, it should not completely stop. There should be a very little movement, like the way I have done over here in this transition. Here the texts are not exactly stopping at the extreme. There is some little movement at the end as well. So we want that motion over here. To achieve that motion, select these Bezier handles. First we have to convert it into the auto Bezier. So select this and click on it. And after that, we can increase the ease. Now here is the trick. If you completely make it flat, if you press and hold the shift key and completely make the Bezier handles flat, it is going to stop at this exact point. but if you make it slightly inclined, very little, not very much, not this much, very little you can do. So right now there would be some movement. It shouldn't stop completely at this point, and we're going to do the same for this one. Now let's check out. Alright, so now we're going to copy and paste these keyframes from this layer to this layer. And after that, at the point where there is the maximum speed, so it should be somewhere around here, or we can check this one better using the speed graph. So here is the maximum speed, and here we are going to split the layer, and from here the maximum speed is at around here, and here we are going to again split the layer, and let's turn off the visibility of this layer. So like this, you can animate match cuts in After Effects. Now I have used only the simple geometric shapes to show the technique, but you can use it on a motion design transitions like character animations, even for complex shapes. So the possibility of this technique is endless. It's up to you how you can use it. So the next technique we are going to learn is how to achieve a motion like over here in the envelope using the speed graph editor. Now we're going to learn the technique using a simple geometric shape like this circle. So let's open the position property, and here we are not going to separate the dimensions. We are going to use it as it is. Let's put a keyframe on position. Now we're going to jump on to next 15 frame, and let's move it over here, and then we're going to jump on to next 12 frame, and we're going to move it over here. Let's jump on to next 12 frame again, and we're going to move it over here, and let's jump on to next 16 frame, and we're going to move it outside the screen. Now we're going to fix the motion path by changing the Bezier handles. So let's select the keyframes and erase it, and let's jump on to the speed graph editor. So the ball is moving from this height to this height. So at this point the speed should be slower compared to over here. So we're going to select this keyframe and move it above. So in speed graph editor, the height determines at how much speed the object is moving. So I'm going to move it over here, and here we don't want the object to be completely stop at this point. We want it to have a little movement, but at a very slow pace. So we're going to select this and convert it into the auto Bezier keyframe, and here we're going to, this line is the 0 and we're not going to touch that line, and we're going to increase the ease over here. So let's leave this for now, and at this point we are again going to change the height, and let's put it over here, and let's increase the influence on both the sides. And at this point we are going to move it up at this point, and here we are going to convert this keyframe into the auto Bezier keyframe, and let's check out. So we need to increase the height even more. We don't want that ball to be stopped that much. Alright, so here it is. So if you are wondering how to stretch the object in between the motion like this, then here I have used an effect. So let's apply it over here as well. So select this layer and we're going to apply an effect called echo, and here we're going to change the echo time seconds to around 0.05, and let's change it to maximum, and here we're going to increase the number of echoes, and here you can see it actually stretches. You can apply this effect on any object or any illustration file. Now to animate this stretch, you have to animate the number of echoes. let's put a keyframe over here, and here we are going to have the maximum number, and at this point it is slowing down, so we're going to give it 0. At this point it is again speeding up. We're going to put a keyframe. Here we are going to increase the number, and here again it's slowing down. We're going to give it 0. And then after this point onwards it is again speeding up. Then we are going to increase the number. Alright, so also if you want to add some depth in this animation, like over here in the envelope animation, so for that you can add a scale keyframe. So at this point we're going to add another scale. So here we are going to increase the size of the ball, and let's move it out even more. So here we are going to ease the keyframe. It is going far away from the camera, so it should have a fast movement over here and a slow movement at this end. Alright, so we can even stretch this keyframe. And here is how you can animate a movement like this in After Effects. And finally, to animate the Santa Claus run cycle, I have used the Twig Bezier plugin to rig the character. So to rig the legs, I use the leg structure layer. To rig the arms, I use the arm structure layers. To add the follow through on the beard, I used the puppet pin tool and then converted the pins into the bone layers using the Twig Bezier plugin, and then added rotation keyframes in a loop. Also, if you want to learn how to animate a run cycle using the Twig Bezier plugin in complete details, then I have a separate tutorial on this. You can check it out. I will be providing the link in the description, or you can click on the I button on the top right corner to check out the tutorial. Also, if you want to learn how to animate snowfall in After Effects, then I have a separate tutorial on it. I will be providing the link in the description, or you can click on the I button on the top right corner to check out the tutorial. Alright, so that is it for this video. I hope you learned something valuable out of it. So if you like the video, make sure to hit the like button. If you have any doubt regarding the techniques, then make sure to comment down below. I would be happy to help you out. And if you are here for the first time, make sure to subscribe the channel and hit the bell notification button to stay notified for all future updates. Until then, goodbye.